Good morning. I want to talk a little bit about digital art today. And online, as an artist or spectator, we see tons and tons and tons and tons of it. All sorts of programs, all sorts of subject matter. A lot of it's going into print. It's easy, to send to the printer, basically. With a conventional piece of art, you'd have to take a photograph and scan it, and I guess it cuts out that step. But anyway, there are some pros here. Pro number one is that there are no materials, so there's no material cost outside of the expense of the program itself. So no canvases, pencils, paints, any of that stuff. Number two, easy to make alterations. So certain things, altering the entire hue of a picture or changing values, things like that, becomes really easy. And of course you can do that in Photoshop with your regular conventional painting too, but with digital art, there's a lot of flexibility, probably more because you have layers you can work with and keep things separated, whereas with painting or drawing, everything's in the original is there as one layer. So anyway, number three, the advantage is there's no original, so there's no storage facility problems. You don't have to have a warehouse to house all your paintings and artworks and things like that, or filing cabinets, or put them in the closet, or what have you. Now, that could be a positive, and then it could also be a negative, but we'll get to that, the con. Number four, kind of touched on this a minute ago, but very easy to disseminate. So you can send the stuff out online, boom, like that. And as you may know online, one of the things people do is collect images. Pinterest is a place people do this. They create albums and they go out and they collect, put in a folder, and they're toggling through images. They'll go look at all, which one do I like, save, and you create a piece of digital art and it's out there and they may like it and they put it in their folder and it's like, oh yay, but how does that pay your bills? So, anyway, that's the pros. Could be more. Those are the ones that occurred to me initially. Cons, number one, no original. So you can't sell the original because you don't have an original. Now you can sell prints, canvas prints, paper prints, things like that. It's not so bad. So maybe you can get around that. But I don't think you'll ever be able to sell a print of an image for hundreds of dollars as you might with a large finished painting. So that's one. Number two, body issues. Body issues are what a lot of people are experiencing from sitting on their butts all the time. So what you're going to, in the old days with painting, a lot of painters would stand when they were painting, and I've started standing. I have work surfaces that are over 30 inches tall and I can work standing. After years and years of being sedentary all day long, it's a killer. They actually say that sitting is the new smoking. Terrible for you. Cuts your energy in half, affects your circulation like crazy. Even if you work out at the gym 3 times a week, if you sit 6 hours a day, 5-6 hours a day or more, it negates the benefits of the exercise. So basically with digital art, you're already perhaps on the computer a lot. You're doing emails, you're doing social stuff, you're doing all these things. Now you're going to spend even more time diddling little tiny details on a screen. So reality itself is, quickly vanishing for a lot of people, and it's all the screen. So, I'm going to spend even more time on the screen. Now, you can look at it two ways. You can look at it as being, oh, well, it's just the nature of technology, it's okay. Or you can say, well, there are these indicators that show that it's not particularly good for health, it's not particularly good for your brain activity. Your brain waves tend to be in a heightened agitated state more often. Relaxation is more difficult. It can affect your sleep, etc. So that actually leads into con number 3. Con number 3 is an addiction problem. So what many people don't realize about, say for example, social media, Facebook, coming into Facebook, not really thinking about it too deeply, is, oh, it's, social, it's my friends, but then I'm meeting more people and I'm seeing interesting things, haha, entertainment, and so on. Well, it was never designed to be that. It wasn't designed to help you as a person, not really. It was designed to be an addiction. Facebook and a lot of apps and other things, they're designed in the same way that casinos design slot machines. So, for example, an experiment with a monkey, if a monkey is rewarded every time by pushing a button with something, then they will stop pushing the button because it happens every time. They don't have to do it every time. But with Facebook or these other programs, the reward is intermittent. So because you go look around, you may not like this, you may like this, and then then you encounter something that pleases you. Oh, that's a positive, that's a good thing. So it's intermittent rewards. So with intermittent rewards, what they found with monkeys, which, well, I don't mean the rock group, I mean monkeys and us, is that people will continue to push that MFing button forever. So this is why, anyway, you can do your own research on Facebook and the dangers of it. But with digital art, you might as well just take that and attach it, because even though you're being creative with it, the point is to create something, put it out there in the world, and then have your hit and miss reward system, just like the monkey with the button. Now, in some sense, this is what all art and culture is about anyway, is about creating and putting it out there and being admired for your deftness and skill, etc. But anyway, there's a lot to think about there, because if you're already online a lot and you're toggling back and forth and multitasking and, oh, now I'm working on the digital art, now I'm doing Facebook, now I'm answering emails, now I'm shopping online, now I'm searching for images, now I'm doing all these things all the time, and whoop, 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 your brain turns into a helicopter blade. So anyway, that's a big subject in and of itself, and we see it everywhere. So, addiction. Number 4, digital art technology can completely remove your personal fingerprint from the artwork. And what I mean by that is that start looking at a lot of digital art, and it's like, how do you determine which artist did which piece? Is it the strokes? Is it the brush strokes? Chances are it's not. Chances are it's the subject matter. So it's like, oh, this is a very gray value oriented piece. It looks like gaming art and it has figures that look a certain stylistic thing. It might be this guy, but then again, it might not be. So what happens, I'm sorry, they're doing construction out on the road today. So what happens is that there's a lot of art that has a certain homogeneous look, but there's not really that much of a, you hunt for the signature, because who did this? It's beginning to look more and more, as I said, homogeneous. So your personal fingerprint, whereas if it were an ink drawing or a painting or something like that, it's like, you can bet, it's like, yeah, I recognize this artist right away. So anyway, that could be a serious thing if we're all going to get into the blender and become a homogeneous group of collective artists where everything kind of looks the same, and I don't think I'd want to live in that world. So anyway, The last one, I think, number 5, is has to do with atrophy. And atrophy, Marshall McLuhan, the Canadian media specialist, analyst, scholar, wrote about how technologies are extensions of human abilities. So to use an analogy, a car, the wheel on a car is an extension of what? Your leg. So you use the car to go from A to B so that you don't have to use the leg. It's more efficient than the leg, or whatever excuse you want to make, but essentially you're not using the leg. So what happens is, the more you use the wheel, the more the leg atrophies. Now with electronic media, like say for example, when we went through the television phase, when everyone was like, oh, it's the idiot box and kids are watching too much TV, everyone was extremely concerned that kids are watching too much TV, and we have the same concerns today with the internet. Well, with television, if television is an extension of a normal, natural human ability, then what ability is it? What is it that it's replacing? And what it's replacing is the central nervous system itself. So the wheel replaced the leg, computer technology replaces the central nervous system. So what happens when you do that? The central nervous system atrophies, right? So this is where we are now. And with an atrophied central nervous system, it decreases your ability to engage with reality, the universe. But everyone's in the same boat, so it's kind of like frogs being boiled in a pot of hot water, and the temperature's rising slowly and no one seems to notice, and it's happening to everyone, all the time. So anyway, with digital art, the technology sitting there, using the screen, using these things, is not only detaches you from reality somewhat, but it is also atrophying abilities. Now, admittedly, people, who sees it that way? What is the matter with you, Hoffman? Are you crazy? You think you're some kind of smartass or philosophical academic or something that you're going to sit here and tell us that? No, I'm just suggesting it, and you can figure it out for yourself. It may be all the things I've mentioned, the addiction, you know, the habitual sitting at the computer all day. It's just one other thing that gets tacked onto all the other ones. These are all things that you can think about and that you can look at. But if you want your personal fingerprint on your art more, if you want to have an original that you can sell, if you don't want your central nervous system to atrophy, then these are all things that are important to think about.